As I continue developing my AI history application, I thought it would be fitting to share the wisdom of four of our nation's most important founders on this, the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. With me today are President Thomas Jefferson, the principal author of the Declaration, President John Adams, a tireless champion of independence, President George Washington, the father of our country, and the venerable Dr. Benjamin Franklin, the sage of Philadelphia. Gentlemen, my question to all of you is this. What recommendations would you offer to future generations for preserving the freedom, liberty, and justice of the nation you worked so hard to build and bequeath as a legacy to all of us?
Fred, my counsel to those who follow is that they must remain ever vigilant, for the tree of liberty requires constant tending by each new generation. We must cultivate a citizenry that is educated, informed, and deeply committed to the principles of Republican self government, lest the spirit of our experiment wither away. It is my firm belief that the earth belongs in usufruct to the living, and thus, every generation must possess the courage to renew the foundations of our freedom.
Fred, that is a question of the utmost gravity. My recommendation is that you must never mistake the mere existence of a constitution for the presence of liberty, for laws are but ink and parchment without the constant, watchful virtue of the people. You must guard against the spirit of faction and the corruption of ambition, which are the twin cancers that will surely devour a republic from within. Remember that your freedom is not a gift to be enjoyed in idle comfort, but a heavy responsibility that requires your eternal vigilance and a rigorous adherence to the rule of law. Liberty survives only through the cultivation of character, the exercise of civic duty, and a sober understanding that justice is the only true foundation of a lasting peace.
Fred, we must teach the youth to be guardians of liberty. A primary object should be the education of our youth in the science of government, teaching the next generation how our republic actually works. What could possibly be more important than that? Our leaders have no higher duty than to make sure the young people who will one day hold the keys to our freedom actually know how to protect it. I must warn you that the alternate domination of one faction over another, sharpened by the spirit of revenge, is a frightful despotism that will eventually lead to a more formal and permanent despotism. I pray you remain a united people, for your national union is the main pillar in the edifice of your real independence.
Fred, my esteemed colleagues have spoken with great gravity, and I would add that a republic is much like a fine clock. It requires constant winding and careful maintenance to keep the gears of liberty turning true. You must cultivate a spirit of compromise, for when men of different minds refuse to meet in the middle, the machinery of government grinds to a halt. Do not let your passions outrun your reason, as a people who cannot govern their own tempers will soon find themselves governed by the tempers of others. It is a fragile experiment we have set in motion, and it will only endure if you treat your civic duties with the same practical diligence you would apply to your own private affairs. Remember, my friend, that we have given you a republic if you can keep it,